Has gold helped turn Ghana's fortunes around? In 2022, the West African country's economy had lost its shine, and it had to seek help from the International Monetary Fund. Things look very different now, with revenue from small-scale gold mining bringing in more than $8 billion. That's partly thanks to Ghana's new regulator called the Gold Board. It has a monopoly on gold exports from small-scale production, sets prices, helps curb smuggling, and has professionalized a sector once dominated by informal operators, both miners and traders. Illegal gold mining, known locally as galamsey, was a major issue in Ghana's presidential election. The winner, now President John Mahama, made setting up the Gold Board a key pledge, which has now become reality.
The Ghana Gold Board was established to dismantle the black market economy surrounding the gold sector. And today's inauguration of the Gold Board Task Force signals our readiness to act decisively.
Ghana has long been a global leader in gold production, but officials have restructured the small-scale mining sector to maximize output and also ensure local miners benefit. Is that really happening on the ground? Isaac Letzi traveled to Osino in the eastern region to find out.
It's a busy day for these gold diggers in Osino, a mining community in eastern Ghana. Nanayao owns this pit. He's here to make sure everything runs smoothly. It is his main source of livelihood. The process is simple but tough. Mud is pumped out through these tubes, then washed on wooden sieves to trap gold particles. Nanaya won't show his face on camera, but says business is booming.
Gold mining is all we, the youth, do in this community to take care of ourselves. We depend on mining because we hardly farm here. Since I started mining, it has really helped me. I have built 2 houses out of that and provided for my children and other relatives.
Across Ghana, scenes like this are common. Small-scale miners account for 35% of the country's gold output, employing over 1 million people directly and millions more indirectly. With global prices soaring, local miners are getting excited. Licensed traders pay about 260 cedis, roughly $26 per gram, and with 24 grams, that would be almost $700, a good amount for many artisanal miners, but just a fraction of the global gold price.
The price of 260 cedis that we sell per gram of gold is okay for me. My prayer always is that we are able to mine about 1 pound of gold every day. That will fetch us good money.
To regulate the sector and curb smuggling, Ghana set up the Gold Board this year. Officials say it's helping miners get better value while boosting foreign exchange earnings for the country.
Our agency, Gold Board, with the power to license persons engaged in trading in the gold, which is a commodity that is highly sought after, exported 81,719 kilograms of gold, and which is valued at around $8.6 billion from the small-scale mining sector, and that has culminated into this. And we are looking at this feat in sharp contrast with what happened in the entire year of 2024, where some gold were exported, and that culminated into earnings of some $4.61 billion. In terms of our functions and what we do, and ensuring that people are able to abide by our various regulations, we're doing well on that front.
Michael Kojo-Prepra, who represents a group of small-scale miners, says the new system is giving his members hope.
think this is the best time to be a small-scale miner. Before, it was the Indians who were determining the price, especially the Lebanese, Chinese who were buying the gold from small-scale miners. Until the new government came and he brought about the Gold Board. And this initiative has really helped Ghanaians. I can state emphatically that now the Gold Board is buying from us at the spot market price, from the world market price. So it's a very good initiative, and this one is more transparent.
But the gold rush comes at a cost: polluted rivers and degraded lands from illegal mining. The Gold Board says soon it will track every ounce of gold and help security agencies shut down illegal sites. In communities like Osino, new buildings are springing up. Locals engaged in mining are making good use of the money. Business owners like Pakwesi says a thriving mining activity in the town keeps his business alive.
If you are talking about the impact of mining, I'm a testament to that. People do come to buy from me because they have money from mining. So businesses like mine and others in the community, including eating joints, are thriving a lot due to the mining activity.
The government insists licensed miners can dig, but must do so responsibly. It is a fight that is daunting and very topical in Ghana. But with gold prices soaring, miners aren't slowing down. They want their share of the boom.
And as mentioned in that report, Ghana's golden windfall has come at a price. The boom in artisanal mining has also produced a surge of health problems for people in the mining areas. A recent study by the U.S.-based environmental health organization Pure Earth and Ghana's Environmental Protection Authority reveals dangerous levels of mercury and arsenic contamination in samples of soil, water, crops, and fish.
Digging for gold in Ghana's illegal artisanal mining sector known as Galamsey. As people seek better futures, they also look for more efficient methods. Increasingly, miners mix liquid mercury with gold-bearing soil or sediment to form a blend, which they then burn to extract the gold. But the mercury evaporates into the air, contaminates nearby soil and water, and eventually makes the food chain toxic. A government study found soil readings in some areas over 130 times the safe levels. There are also often high levels of arsenic in the gold ore, and this cocktail of contamination has been taking a heavy toll.
We didn't know. We used to suck the mercury into our mouth and throat so that we could get the gold. Eventually, all the guys working with mercury got sick. But when they got sick, we didn't think it was the mercury that brought the illnesses. We put into our minds that we had committed a sin against the gods.
Many of the victims suffer kidney disorders, and these are often not detected early.
The majority of these cases usually go unnoticed for a very long while, and that is the dangerous part of it, because in the clinical setting, usually when such patients complicate is when probably diagnosis is done, because areas where you find such clients do not have the necessary facilities to do the diagnosis, and so they may be in and out of hospital a number of times before they are referred to the tertiary facility for the final diagnosis or the appropriate diagnosis to be done for treatment to commence.
And environmentalists worry this could be replicated on a much larger scale. Toxic pollution, largely from the unregulated mining, is widespread across all of Ghana's mining regions. And for many communities, this price of gold is already too high.
To delve deeper into Ghana's gold sector, I'm joined now by Rastus Asare Donkor, award-winning investigative and environmental journalist from Ghana. Rastus, appreciate your being here. We've just seen two different reports, two sides of the same gold coin, so to speak. A positive outlook on the one hand, and a pretty dire perspective on the other. Let's start with the first. Since the gold board took effect, gold revenue exports have just about doubled. Miners are getting good, steady work. This is an outright success, isn't it?
Well, you could say so on one angle, and then you could say no on the other angle. Gold used to be smuggled, and they were being purchased by the Indians, especially, and some Chinese, and it was smuggled out of the country. So it means that Ghana was losing on double fronts. One, our land was being degraded. We were leaving pits and gullies, thousands of hectares of them, for future generations of the taxpayer to pay for reclamation. And we were not getting anything out of the sale of the gold itself. The Indians were buying it, smuggling part of it, and exporting it. So the income was going into private pockets. But with the establishment of Gold Board, now the country itself is gaining foreign exchange directly from the sale of the gold. And it looks like now the purchase of gold is now being controlled and centralized. So that is good for the country. We'll be earning, we are earning foreign exchange. As the government puts it, Ghana's foreign exchange reserves have been boosted by approximately $4 billion. So you could say that is good news on that part. But we still have not dealt with traceability issues, where the gold is coming from. And of course, Gold Board's gold is coming from the small-scale sector. And the small-scale sector is Ghana's biggest environmental headache. That is where all the environmental challenges that we're having are coming from. Pollution of water bodies. Now we have 60% of our major water bodies highly polluted and contaminated with heavy metals due to small-scale artisanal mining.
I want to get to that. I know that it sounds like I'm stopping you, but you're sounding very mild for billions of dollars in revenue that the government didn't get before. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the Gold Board is making some kind of a difference, even though it's only been operating for a short few months. What do you believe is in the future?
Well, yes, the Gold Board is making significant gains. That should be underscored. Yes. And I will not downplay that. But I will also want to look at, as an environmental journalist, I will want to look at one, cost of environmental degradation to the economy. Remember, we are leaving large tracts of land destroyed, degraded, turned into pits and gullies. Reclamation is going to happen before those lands can be reused. The cost of reclamation, about $32,000 per acre of land. We are destroying thousands of acres at a very faster rate. That is a cost, a huge cost to the economy. The health cost to the economy, because now we're getting certain diseases that we used not to get creeping in from the Galamsey belts. Unexplained childhood cancers, increasing kidney-related ailments, vaporized mercury filling the air and giving problems to people. In a country where healthcare is on the low side, facilities are not so good, and we have few facilities that are overstretched. We have not looked at that.
Okay.
So if you're looking at all these costs to the economy and you're calculating and you're projecting that against what we are gaining, we are only piling up cost for future generations.
Despite a government crackdown, reports estimate that more than 1.5 million Ghanaians are still engaged on some level in the illegal mining business, and the vast majority of artisanal operations are still unlicensed. Does that square with what you saw on the ground?
Exactly. And I have seen quite a lot. In fact, when I started monitoring this back in 2014, 2015, we did not have the numbers of forest reserves that have been attacked as we have it today. Now we're having 288 forest reserves in Ghana. Out of that, 44 of them have been impacted negatively, substantially, by illegal gold mining. And if you look at the numbers, we are losing about 5,520 hectares of land to illegal mining. So you look at that rate, and all this is happening. If you look at the Global Forest Watch data, we are talking about between 2016 and 2024, where a lot of this happened. So if we are losing such amount of land in such a manner, progressively, that is not good. And this is prime land that we could use for farming, we could use for timber and other sectors.
You've investigated these illegal mining camps, which you describe as sort of paramilitary style compounds backed by dirty money. Talk to us a little bit about how criminal syndicates are, how they're controlling and to the extent to which they control this particular sector in the economy and what the government is up against.
So the small scale sector is fairly, I would say fairly, because if you take 100 mining activities on the ground, you could say that about 90 of them are uncontrolled and unlicensed. And so people get excavators, they take it to any forest reserve under the protection of influential or politically exposed people, and they start mining haphazardly anywhere. So about 10% is doing sustainable, licensed mining. Remember, if you're not licensed, it's like the system doesn't know you. The Minerals Commission is not monitoring your activity. It means that you can mine on water bodies, you can mine close to water bodies, you can violate government's buffer zone policies and pollute water bodies. You can mine in a restricted area, forest reserves, biodiversity areas, and destroy land permanently. And that is what is happening. And that is the problem. If we were to be licensing all of them, streamlining the licensing regime so that people can get access to license easily. If we were to strengthen the various agencies, EPA, Minerals Commission, Water Resources Commission, and the district mining committees, and we are able to monitor and regulate, then we are doing sustainable mining. What this means is that, one, we'll be able to protect the environment. Two, we'll get more in terms of taxes from these entities. And then we can also sell our gold profitably on the European market and other markets where traceability is a big issue now. Then the country will be gaining more than we are supposed to gain now. But now we are building a high cost of debt for the taxpayer in terms of reclamation. Two, in terms of health, deteriorating health conditions are going to happen because haphazard mining builds diseases, contamination issues, and others. And two, we are not getting the needed revenue from this. So yes, I like the idea of Gold Board. It has changed the status quo, where previously the Indians, the Chinese were smuggling gold in large quantities across various illegal routes and taking the money into their pockets. Now, government is buying the gold itself. We've centralized it. So we're getting the foreign exchange directly into it. It's good. Now, let's start working on traceability. And what that means is sustainable quality mining.
Okay. Erastus Asare Donkor, many thanks.
Thank you.